Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the OECD, that's the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, and their so-called global minimum tax. As a prelude to the rest of this video, I think it's important to point out that in the United States, President Trump, immediately upon coming into office, signed an executive order wherein he basically rejected the exploration of the OECD, the same thing Thailand is supposedly doing here, where we haven't signed on to anything with OECD, we're exploring it. And you know, all of this notion of a global minimum tax, as Mr. Trump pointed out in his executive order, it creates extraterritorial jurisdiction. It also operates to the detriment of national sovereignty on issues such as internal tax policy as well as internal banking policy. So as Mr. Trump noted, and I very much agree with, and I'm very thankful that he did this in order, if for no other reason than it sheds light on this very troubling issue, especially if you care about the sovereignty of the country you're in or the sovereignty of the country you come from. But long story short, he brought that up, the issue of extraterritorial jurisdiction and national sovereignty issues. And I think it's important to point out at the beginning of this video, I do deep dive analysis into a lot of this stuff. If you are interested in that, please feel free to email us, media@integrity-legal.com, and we can get you on the mailing list for long-form content where I do analysis of these things to a deep level basis. Now, also, while I'm sort of talking my book here, I guess it's worth pointing out, my better half and I set up a restaurant here in downtown Bangkok, Pancake Palace, if you're interested. Breakfast anytime in American diner style food. Link is in the description below. That said, getting into this, and I think it's worth pointing out that we're seeing the tail end of this government. We're in a caretaker government right now. It looks like as of tomorrow, as of the time of this video, on Friday, September the 5th, we're going to see a vote on a new prime minister. Apparently, Anutin Charnvirakul has secured the necessary votes from the People's Party to go ahead and secure the prime ministership. So hopefully we'll be seeing a new government, and then hopefully thereafter, we will hopefully see some turnaround on some of this stuff. Again, remains to be seen. That said, I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Bangkok Post, bangkokpost.com. Article is titled, "Cabinet Approves Support for Firms Hit by New Tax," which I'm curious to know, where was this new tax legalized at? Where's the law behind all this? That said, quoting directly, the Cabinet on Tuesday approved in principle the draft National Competitiveness Enhancement for Targeted Industries bill to mitigate the impact of the so-called top-up tax. So it sounds like, and I could be wrong here, but it sounds like all of this is inclusive in that one bill, but they're trying to make it sound like the mitigation is only included in that bill, and so therefore the bill is positive. Quoting further, the top-up tax is a mechanism designed to ensure multinational enterprises pay a minimum level of corporate income tax, typically aligned with the global minimum tax initiative led by the OECD. According to Chusak Sirinil, the Minister for the Prime Minister's Office, the draft bill aims to alleviate the burden on businesses affected by the collection of the top-up tax. Well, who wanted the top-up tax to begin with? And this whole notion that there should be or is a global minimum tax is ridiculous. You know, I talked about this in other videos. Janet Yellen came up with this nonsense, and in my opinion, you know, did a bunch of things prior to Trump's executive order that were undermining of U.S. national sovereignty, created extraterritorial jurisdictional issues in the U.S. context, and I have serious problems with it here. Who says that an outside body outside of Thailand gets to dictate to Thailand what a minimum tax is or should be? It's really ridiculous when you think about it from the standpoint of national sovereignty. Now, that said, we're presumably seeing a new government coming in here sooner rather than later here in Thailand, so hopefully we may see some positive developments with regard to this. We will certainly be keeping you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.